Hey there. So, the year's coming to an end, and I figured now would be a great time to talk about goals. The plan is to do actually 3 videos, this one being about setting up goals, how to do it, sort of my ideology behind it. The second one is gonna be my goals for next year. What are they? Why did I choose them? The third one is gonna be sort of a yearly recap, checking out how I managed with the goals I had set for this year. But yeah, without further ado, let's go. Now, when it comes to setting up goals for yourself, in many ways, obviously, and none of those are wrong, but in my mind, the number one thing, the non-negotiable thing is you gotta know yourself. You gotta know the things that motivate you, but also you need to recognize the things that paralyze you, make you stop. And only once you've figured those 2 things can you go about actually set out some goals. Because so many of us, myself included, get the biggest motivational surge at 10 o'clock in the evening when you're lying in bed, and yeah, we all know how that works out. It doesn't. Because the person lying in bed, doom scrolling social media late at night, isn't the one who's actually gonna implement those changes. That's not the person who does things. That's the person who wants to do things. Because there's a huge difference in wanting to run a marathon and wanting to be someone who ran a marathon. Because out of those 2, the other one wants results, the other one's ready for the journey. And then, once you really know what it is you're prepared to do, what it is you want to do to become the person you want to be, then all you gotta do is start setting out those goals. And I feel like the 3 best ways to set up goals are too little, just enough, and too much. And as for which of these ways best suits you, well, that's completely dependent on the type of person you are. Now the first one, the too little, that's just blatantly from a book called The Atomic Habits, which I highly recommend you read. And that one works specifically when you're starting out with a new hobby, say running for example. Now for a runner, what that could mean is for the first few weeks, the goal is thrice a week you go outside wearing your running kit. And once that door closes behind you, then that's it. Tick the box off and move on. Sure, you can go out for a walk, go out for a run, but what you're required to do is go outside or stand on a treadmill, whichever it may be. The point is, it's supposed to be something so ridiculous that if you fail at that, then maybe you need to reconsider. Maybe running just isn't your thing. But you shouldn't keep up with this for too long a period, because just going outside doesn't improve you as a runner. All it does is sets you up with the habit. And once it starts being too easy, then, set up a different goal. Maybe go outside in your running kit and stay outside for at least 10 minutes. Now, again, whether or not you run, that's up to you. But what you need to do is stay outside for 10 minutes. Again, sounds ridiculously easy, and that's the whole point. But yeah, just make it so ridiculously easy that if you fail at this, then you just chose wrongly, and then go back to square one, figure it all out again, and start over. But if that's not your thing, like you're the type of person who actually does what they set out to do, or say you've been running for a while and you know that going out for a run isn't the issue, then maybe you need to set a goal that's just enough. If you're already running thrice a week, maybe the goal for you is to add some structure into it, increase the distance or intensity 10% every week, take a break every once in a while, or, actually sit down with a coach and start going from there. Something that's a bit more demanding than the stuff you're already doing, something that you can actually fail at if you stop trying. Stuff that doesn't require superhuman effort in order for you to complete those. And those are the types of goals I like to set for myself. sort of look back on what it is I've done for the past few years and then build on top of that. Just a little bit, keep it interesting, keep it demanding, but making sure that it's still attainable, realistic goals, And this is the kind of goals where if you fail, you need to look back and see what it is that went wrong. Was it too difficult a goal, or was it the circumstances? Like, did you fall sick or just ran out of time or whatever? Because when you set these types of goals, it might be that it's not just up to you that things go wrong. You might do all that you can, but stuff happens, like injuries or work stuff, or just the weather might turn to, snow. And the point of looking back on what went wrong is to make sure that it's not the goal you set, but it's other reasons. And then, once you set the same goal next year or next time, then you make sure you try and control those variables around you to make sure that you can actually finish what you set out to do. Because life happens and sometimes you're not in the driver's seat, And the third way of setting goals is just, go big or go home. And when it comes to sports and, being active physically, you have a risk of injuring yourself. So, keep it sensible. But if you're the type of person who needs a huge number in order to actually dig deep and push yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, then go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But you also need to be the type of person who isn't disheartened when you fail. A great example of a guy who has the right attitude to set up such huge numbers as goals is this guy called Noyes. I'll link him in the description. He's a YouTuber, a big guy, morbidly obese like myself, and like a year ago or so, he set himself up with the challenge of running an ultra marathon. So far, life happened, stuff happens. He hasn't ran it yet, but he has the exact right type of attitude you need to set up such goals and still be able to reach those. You know what I mean? Like, stuff that happens is just obstacles in the way of reaching your goal. They're not, it's not a failure. It's just, you need a different path. Considering the fact that what he's done so far, like he ran a 5K, he's been doing CrossFit, he's more active than ever. That's what you need if you're the type of person who sets up huge goals for yourself. Personally, I can't use those types of goals. Like, I get so disheartened if I at some point realize I'm too far off from reaching that goal, and then I sort of abandon all hope. So I need goals that are more manageable in my mind. But go check out Noyes. I really enjoy his videos. I highly believe that if you enjoy mine, you'll like his as well. So go check him out. But in conclusion, ideally, and the way I set up goals is sort of a combination of all of these. The huge number, the big ticket thing, that's, out there somewhere. Like in my case, I don't know, full distance triathlon, marathon, that sort of stuff. It's in the back of my head, but it's years from now. Like, I don't have it written down or anything, but it's something maybe at some point, who knows. But for the actual goals that I set are more, slightly improving on what I've already done, what I've already accomplished. Or if I'm trying something new, then I'll set up sort of milestones. Like, say I wanted to run a sub 60-minute 10K, which is like, okay, it's doable, it takes work for sure. But I'd set up some milestones like, a new PB, 70 minutes, breaking 65 minutes, to help me on the journey of, reaching that bigger goal. Especially if it's something that takes time. Me personally, I need some milestones in the way. Because otherwise it's going to be, 10 months of me just pushing, grinding, and then falling sick, just before the A race. And then, that's it. Everything's gone to waste. But when I set up those tinier goals in between, then at least I get that some sort of feeling of accomplishment while when I hit those ones, even though they are not the one I'm truly going for. I don't know. I hope this all made sense, but at the end of the day, the way you set up goals, the types of goals you set, it's all personal. To each their own. But what I do truly believe is in order for you to set up goals, you really do need to know what type of a person you are, what it is you truly want to do, want to accomplish, because otherwise I don't think it's just ever going to happen. That's it for now. I hope each and every one of you has a glorious day. Take care. Bye.